If you are saving your way to wealth, then you are doing it all wrong. So here are 7 lessons to help you build your wealth and hopefully become a millionaire. If you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Eddie. We talk about all things finances on this channel. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, notification for future updates. Also, I'm not a financial advisor, nor any of this financial advice, so make sure you do your own due diligence before you make any financial decisions. So the first lesson is to invest. This is something that you probably heard from so many people over so many times, but you haven't done the first step. But I'm telling you this now, you have to take that first step to invest. Nobody has ever become wealthy by saving their way to wealth. All of them became wealthy because they invested their way into wealth. You might be able to save a lot of money, but you are also missing out on potential gains. Now, there are many vehicles to invest, but for this example and illustration, we'll use the stock market as an example. And I'm going to say this now, it has never been easier to invest into the stock market today than ever in our lifetime. So I asked ChatGPT, if I make $100,000 a year in California and my expense is $5,000 a month, how many years would it take for me to save my first million after taxes? Keep in mind, these are all average numbers. You can always ask ChatGPT based on your current situation. So after all expenses, you're able to save around $1,800 a month. That means to save your first million will take 45 years. That is assuming that your salary is going to stay at $100K a year. Hopefully it grows over time, but the simple math, napkin math, 45 years to make your first million. Now, if you decided to invest instead of save, assuming that the market returns 7% annually, then you would hit that $1 million mark in about 20 to 21 years. Year 5, you'll make 131K, 10 years, 317. And of course, it compounds. If we don't know anything about compound interest, look it up. I'll make a video on that for sure. But by 20 to 21 years, you should have $1 million. If the market returns an average of 10%, then we're talking about 18 years. This is why it's so important to invest. I invest every single week into the market. The money comes out from my bank account into my investment account, and then automatically purchase the stocks that I automated every single week, because automation doesn't get sick, doesn't have emotions, doesn't sleep. It doesn't matter. It'll always invest for me no matter what. Lesson number 2 is to increase your income. Again, something that you've probably heard. And this is because there is a limit to how much you can save, but there's no limit to how much you can make. Let's say you make $50,000 every single year and your lifestyle is around $45,000. That means you're able to save and invest the difference, which is $5,000. But now if you increase your income, let's say around 10K every single year, and still maintain the same lifestyle, now your $60,000 income with a $45K lifestyle, you're able to now save or invest $15,000. I will say it is important in the early stages of building your wealth to cut out a lot of unnecessary things. But instead of spending your energy on how you can save money, it's better to focus that energy into figuring how you can increase your income. So if you can get another part-time job or work extra hours or pick up a side hustle, try to do that with the extra time that you have, because your income is going to be your number 1 wealth building tool. Number 3 is do not fall for the coffee argument. So this is one of my favorite things, right? In the early stages of my entrepreneurial journey, I would go to a coffee shop every single day, and I would buy coffee every single day and sit in that cafe for around 4 to 8 hours a day. People were telling me how much I was spending on coffee, that I should save my money and go to a library or study at home. But I'll share a story with you that'll help better illustrate the situation. There are 2 people, Jack and Jill. Jack drinks coffee. Jill does not drink coffee. Jack drinks coffee every single day. And Jill looks over to Jack and says, man, with all the money you spent on coffee, if I were you, I'd be able to buy a Ferrari. And Jack looks over to Jill and says, so where's your Ferrari? The point is that just because you cut out coffee or the small things that you value in your life does not mean you're going to become wealthier. You'll definitely be able to save a little bit more money. You might end up becoming more miserable because you value stuff like coffee. And most people actually tend to use those savings towards something else anyway. So the goal is not to penny pinch every single dollar. It's okay to enjoy the things that you value, but the key importance is that you do not spend all your savings or your income on the things that you value. If a cup of coffee is going to help you get throughout your day and get your work done and help you make more money, it's fine to spend a few dollars on coffee. The real question is, do you really need a $10 coffee when you can just buy a $5 coffee? Lesson number 4 is do not fall for lifestyle creep. If you've never heard of lifestyle creep, it's basically when someone starts to make more money, they end up spending more money, therefore they never actually become wealthier. For example, let's say you make $60,000 every single year and your lifestyle is a $50,000 lifestyle. That means you're able to save and invest $10K. But let's say all of a sudden you got a promotion, you start making more money, and now you make $100,000 a year. All of a sudden you might start buying more things and your lifestyle might equate to around $90,000 a year. You didn't get any wealthier, right? You are able to save and invest $10K when you made $60K and $100K. The difference is that you now have more problems and more stuff. The goal would be to try to maintain that $50,000 a year lifestyle while you make that $100K, which leads to lesson number 5, which is very similar to lesson number 4, and that is to delay gratification. So when people's income increases and lifestyle creep starts to hit, the things that people tend to upgrade first are their cars, or they buy a house, or they buy a whole new wardrobe, expensive shoes, watches, phone, electronics. But when you have an increased income, your goal is to delay gratification as long as possible. But one of the greatest lessons that I've learned over time is that today's income is not tomorrow's income, meaning that the money you made this year or that the money that you're going to make today will not be guaranteed next year or years to come. So you have to delay gratification. I made my first $1 million when I was 29 years old. I remember looking at my phone and I saw 6 zeros and I was like, that's crazy. And the first thing that came to my mind was maybe I should upgrade my car. Maybe I should buy a house. And I was thinking on all sorts of things, right? But I don't have to. I live in an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment with a 2-car garage. It was beautiful the way it was. I have a paid off car. Why am I trying to take on more risk, right? So about 2 to 3 years, I made no big purchases. Sure, I ate a little bit better, went on a slightly better vacation, but rarely went on vacations as well. But I still worked, reinvested, And 3 years later, I decided to make my first big purchase, which was this home that I live in now. That was more for a family reason than a financial reasons. I know sometimes people will say financially it doesn't make sense to buy a home and all these reasons, but that goal and those lines are very different for everybody because it's a personal journey. But I would say before you make any sorts of big purchases or any lifestyle upgrades, wait around 3 to 5 years before you do it. I know that seems very long, but you'll realize over time that you don't really need it. Like when I want to buy something on Amazon, unless it's a necessity, I'll usually add it to my cart and I'll leave it there for about a day. And then I'll revisit my cart. And then if I really need it or want it, then I'll make that purchase. But sometimes I forget that I added it to my cart. And that really is a reality check of like, I didn't really need that. So don't fall for lifestyle creep and delay gratification. Lesson number 6 is to invest the gap. I know we talked about investing in lesson number 1, but the difference is that we talked about earning more money or increasing your income. And we learned that increasing your income will not make you wealthier, but it's investing the gap that will make you wealthier. So somebody that makes $50,000 a year, but has a $30,000 lifestyle that has $20,000 left over and invests that is much more wealthier than someone who has a $100,000 income with a $90,000 lifestyle that can only invest $10,000. So here's a chart to visually understand the difference between person A and person B. You can see that even though person B makes twice as much as person A is able to become a millionaire around 7.5 years earlier than person B. Now, the biggest difference is when interest compounds over all the years. So assuming that person A and person B continuously invested for the next 40 years, person A would have around $8 million after 40 years, and person B would only have $4 million. We're talking about a 2x difference because person A decided to invest the difference. Powerful lesson here is that just because you make more doesn't mean you're able to invest more. It's all about investing the gap. Ideally, we would want everyone to make more and invest more, but the important thing is to invest the gap. In terms of what to invest, there are many vehicles. There are real estate, there are businesses, there are stocks and cryptos and collectibles, but the most important thing is to invest invest into things that you understand. Do not invest into anything, and this is a very important principle, do not invest into anything that you do not understand. The seventh and final lesson is income through time. So in the early stages of your life, you're trading your time for money. And with that money, you are buying assets. And the beauty about assets, if you are buying quality things, is that it eventually produces income. And with that income, you're able to buy back your time. Now, you're not really able to buy time, but you're able to work less to have more time to do the things that you want. My entire 20s, I had a lot of time. I was growing, I was young, I wasn't married, I could have taken risks, I had no kids. So I really was able to use my entire 20s to make as much money as possible. And in my 30s, which I'm in my mid 30s now, I'm just buying assets. I'm just buying this, buying that, investing into this, investing into that, things that will appreciate over time. It is important to diversify, but there is a difference between concentration and diversification. You build wealth through concentration, and you're able to preserve your wealth through diversification. Currently in my season, I'm doing a little bit of both at the same time, but I've structured everything in a way where when I hit 40 years old, I no longer really have to work as hard as I am now. Now, by nature, I'm a workaholic. I love working, so I'll probably end up working till the day that I die, but I have that freedom to enjoy time with my sons, with my wife, go on a vacation. Even today, I'm able to do that. A lot of the assets that I've bought and the investments that I made are definitely paying returns today that free up more time for me. If I want to take a month-long vacation or just sleep in for an entire week, I could do that. But I'm only able to do that because I sacrificed my 20s, my time, to make the money that I made to invest into things that eventually help me buy back my time. I know up here, all of it makes sense to most of you, but it's executing that's the hardest for so many people. But I'm here to encourage you and tell you just to be consistent. Yeah, but one of the early advices I've gotten was that success is extremely boring. Day in and day out, being consistent and doing things when nobody is watching and just doing it over and over and over again. One day you'll wake up and you'll be able to see all the hard work that you put in and you'll see the fruits of your labor. You don't want to be on the other end when you turn 40 and look back and realize, why didn't I build? Why didn't I invest? Why didn't I work harder in my 30s, in my 20s? These are my 7 lessons for you guys to help you build your wealth. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one over. Good night, good morning. Adios.